The WWE Universe has been set ablaze with discussion, shock, and speculation following the explosive events that unfolded last night on Monday Night Raw. The tension backstage was so thick it could be cut with a knife, and at the heart of it all were two brothers whose bond has been both their greatest strength and their deepest source of pain, Jimmy and Jey Uso. What began as a heated conversation between siblings quickly spiraled into a confrontation that could alter the future of the Bloodline forever. It was a night filled with emotion, history, and betrayal, and everyone watching could feel that something monumental was breaking apart right before their eyes. For weeks, fans have sensed that the tension between Jimmy and Jey Uso was slowly boiling to the surface. Ever since Jey decided to realign himself with Roman Reigns and the Bloodline, there's been a shift in the dynamic between the brothers. Once inseparable and united in their fight against the manipulation and dominance of the tribal chief, the Usos have found themselves standing on opposite sides of an emotional and psychological battlefield. The bond that once symbolized brotherhood, loyalty, and shared struggle now appears to be crumbling under the pressure of ego, pride, and ambition. Backstage, the atmosphere was heavy with unease. Crew members, superstars, and even officials could feel that something was about to erupt. When Jimmy finally found Jey in the hallway, it was clear that the time for holding back had ended. He approached his brother with the intensity of a man who had been holding in frustration for far too long. His eyes told the story before his mouth even opened. Betrayal, disappointment, and heartbreak all swirled together in that one look. When he finally spoke, his words cut deep. "You're starting to act just like Roman," Jimmy snapped, his voice trembling with anger and disbelief. Those words carried years of meaning. For Jimmy, Roman Reigns had come to represent everything that tore their family apart: control, manipulation, and dominance disguised as leadership. To be compared to Roman was the ultimate insult, and yet, in Jimmy's eyes, it was the truth that Jey needed to hear. He accused his brother of treating him like he was beneath him, as though Jey had forgotten where they both came from and what they had fought against. It wasn't long ago that the Usos stood side by side, united in their rebellion against Roman Reigns' tyranny. They were tired of being pawns in the tribal chief's game, tired of being made to feel like they were expendable. Together, they fought for freedom, respect, and the right to be their own men. But now, Jimmy sees that same oppressive energy reflected in Jey's behavior: the tone, the arrogance, the sense of superiority that he once despised in Roman. Jimmy's voice cracked as he reminded Jey of their journey, of the nights they spent fighting side by side, of the pain they endured to break free from Roman's control. "We used to fight against this, not become part of it," Jimmy said, his words echoing down the hallway. Jey, visibly taken aback, tried to defend himself. He insisted that his choices weren't about ego or betrayal, they were about business. "I'm just doing what's best for business," Jey explained, his tone calm but defensive. To him, aligning with Roman again was a strategic decision. It was about maintaining relevance, protecting their legacy, and ensuring their family's dominance in WWE. But to Jimmy, that sounded like an excuse, a justification for selling out everything they once stood for. The moment Jey said those words, Jimmy's expression hardened. His anger transformed into something colder: disappointment. He shook his head slowly and said, "Nah, you've lost yourself, Us. You're not main event Jey Uso anymore. You're just a mini Roman." The jab hit Jey like a punch to the gut. The title, main event Jey Uso, had been a badge of honor, a symbol of his hard-earned independence after years of standing in Roman's shadow. To have his own brother strip that identity away and accuse him of being a mere imitation of Roman Reigns was devastating. For a brief second, Jey's face revealed a flicker of hurt before the anger took over. The two brothers stood inches apart, their chests rising and falling with heavy breaths. The energy between them was volatile, almost dangerous. Every word that followed seemed to carry years of unresolved resentment. The bond of brotherhood that once united them now seemed fragile, almost shattered. Before the situation could escalate further, WWE security rushed in to separate the two. The shouts echoed through the backstage area as staff members held both men back. Jimmy struggled against the security team, his voice filled with rage and pain. "Keep treating me like this," he warned Jey as he was being pulled away, "and I'll remind you who the real USO is." It was more than a threat, it was a declaration. A promise that the brother he once protected was now his rival. As Jimmy walked off, the hallway fell into an eerie silence. Jey stood there, breathing heavily, staring after his brother with a mixture of anger and regret. The expression on his face said it all. He knew this wasn't just another argument. This was a breaking point, a fracture that might never heal. The Bloodline, once the most dominant and feared faction in WWE history, was now showing visible cracks from within. What started as a powerful alliance built on family loyalty and tribal pride has slowly turned into a battlefield of manipulation, power struggles, and betrayal. Roman Reigns' shadow continues to loom large over everyone connected to him, poisoning relationships and turning family against family. Jimmy's confrontation with Jey wasn't just about hurt feelings, it was about identity, respect, and survival in a system that rewards loyalty only when it benefits the leader. For Jimmy, this isn't just about wrestling. It's about reclaiming who he is, proving that he doesn't need Roman or even Jey to define his worth. His words weren't empty threats. They were fueled by the pain of feeling replaced and disrespected by his own blood. On the other hand, Jey's struggle is equally complex. He's torn between loyalty to family, ambition for greatness, and the haunting influence of Roman Reigns. Every choice he makes seems to come with a cost. He believes he's doing what's best for their legacy, but deep down, he might be realizing that in trying to secure their future, he's losing himself all over again. The WWE Universe is divided. Some fans sympathize with Jimmy, believing he's the only one brave enough to stand up against the toxic cycle that Roman created. Others see Jey's perspective, arguing that his decisions are strategic and necessary in a world where only power and alliances guarantee survival. But no matter which side the fans take, everyone agrees on one thing: this is far from over. The Bloodline saga has taken a darker and more personal turn. This isn't just about championships or control anymore. It's about pride, betrayal, and the unbreakable yet fragile bond between brothers. The emotional depth of this feud has left fans on the edge of their seats, wondering what comes next. Will Jimmy and Jey ever reconcile, or has the damage already gone too far? Can Jey break free from Roman's influence once and for all, or is he destined to repeat the same mistakes that tore their family apart in the first place? What makes this story so powerful is that it mirrors real human struggles: loyalty versus independence, love versus resentment, family versus self. The Usos have